Okay, Mr. Horstman's ready, so if we could call the meeting to order, if you would call the roll, please.
Mr. Schmid?
Here.
Mr. Rucker?
Here.
Mr. Gunlock?
Here.
Mr. Stein? Absent. Mr. Fike?
I am here. We have a quorum, so we're in good shape. This meeting of the Building Code Board of Appeals is actually a continuance of the January 20th meeting. If I've read the minutes, and that was the motion that was in effect at that time. Because of that, I don't think anyone, unless there's somebody new that's going to be giving any testimony, everybody's already been sworn in.
You just swear in, Doc. I may want to give testimony. Thank you.
Okay.
Raise my right hand. Absolutely.
If you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Always.
Okay, you are sworn in. Okay, since that meeting, the general purpose of the continuance, so it would give the city the opportunity to get the chief building official, the electrical inspector, and plans examiner into the building to take a look at it and provide us with a new report of the I guess, the conditions as they exist on that day.
Correct. George Polis, myself, and Greg Cappuccini did go through the building. The hard copy of the report's in front of you. I also emailed you one out shortly after the report was generated. And the report's essentially, nothing's changed from when you guys went through it back in September or whatever it was. I think that was our last meeting. But when the board toured the building, it's in the same condition, actually a little worse.
Okay, if I'm reading your report from May 30th, 2018, you had determined at that time that the percentage of structure deterioration was 84.5%.
Correct.
And your report now of February 7th said the percentage of structural deterioration is now 80.98%. Excuse me, 94%.
Correct.
Okay. Is there anyone on the board that has any questions for Mr. Tom?
It looks like your, I guess, the categories for, as far as the deterioration, changed from the first rubric to this one.
Yeah, I used the most up-to-date form. And I get that data from the National Association of Home Builders, and then and they ended another category, so I had to do things a little bit different when we did the new format. But I use it; it's the same format I use in all the projects that we go into and evaluate in this way.
You said it was in worse condition,
Yes,
but the percentage dropped. How did that work out?
and that's just kind of how the new percentages work versus the old ones. There's, I think, one more category. I think there was 5 and now there's 6.
It's like the exterior was broken into an exterior frame and an exterior finishes. Has this information been shared with the owners or the owner's attorney?
Yes, it has.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, there's a recommended percentage based on this, that above that percentage,
Yeah,
it would be
if you look,
demolition and
right, if you look at the report, there's a section in there where I have the codified ordinance listed for the city of Sandusky. And if it's over 50%,
50%, okay.
Any other questions?
I have none.
Good. Okay. At this time, I'm assuming this is Owens, or you go by Owens or more?
Owens.
Owens, okay. give you the opportunity to speak. I just caution you, the previous meeting we had, your discussion got off point. It got to be a little on the disruptive side, and was unneeded, unwarranted. We don't want to have that again. So I just cautioned you by keeping your remarks to strictly the deterioration of your building and what we're going to speak about, not any of the people that are here.
I promise you I'll say whatever God leads me
Okay.
to say. Okay. God, thank you again for this opportunity. Thank you for the city that I live in. God, I'm asking now that you send my ancestors that are more calming in order to calm this board. God, please let me just present the facts and let your decision be rendered. I welcome them all with me here today. May it be so. Amen. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to take long, and I'm not going to be upset because the facts are the facts, okay? I just got a couple of questions. How is the building, or what is being said is wrong with the building that puts it in worse condition as it was in when you guys came in and did the inspection?
I think, just from my reading of the report, is the work that was visibly completed was cosmetic work on the outside of the building.
Well, the work that was done was the public safety hazard that was an issue. And when we emailed Scott this morning, he said that that was all good and that was all fine. And we know that that's a large building and all of the outside work has been done. So the numbers don't really make sense to me as far as with that. And then as far as with the inside of the roof, because this board is going to make the determination based on Scott's inspection and his testimony, correct? Because I want this board to know that Mr. George Palauis did not inspect the building, and that I have video footage to prove that. The part that we're in here on, the roof in the back, Mr. Palauis never inspected it. Greg, he never inspected the other part. Greg came in and the video shows it. That's why Greg nor George signed the report. Now, George is an architect, just like you. Scott's a builder. Your own words at March 26th meeting 2019. Oh, sorry, it's page 5. Okay. Okay, yeah, you stated yourself, Mr. Fight, that Scott is just a builder, that he's not an architect, and he cannot make determinations based on structure. And the house that you were actually saying that about was this one. Remember this house?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, this house is located 1 block from the 937 West Washington, and you were the architect on it. And there was an appeals meeting because once it changed ownership to an African-American couple, the city, Scott, wanted to demolish it. And these people hired you. And after they hired you, they got your expertise based on your report versus his. Now, I was in there on that meeting, and I wasn't even supposed to be, but that's where God led me. So with your own words that you said, you can pass this around for evidence. I'm sorry. You said that Scott is not a builder. He cannot make such determination. So then Mr. Miser, which is the city commissioner now, he didn't even want yours. He wanted a structural engineer. But they said based on your experience, they took your word for it in the inspection. So I'm standing here today saying, Scott, in your words, he can't make this determination. Now, I sent in 3 reports from a structural engineer. On the first meeting that we
Excuse
had,
me,
Scott,
Who is that?
Paul Tremarchi, I'm
He's
sorry.
not a structural engineer. He's an engineer, but he's not a structural engineer.
Okay, let me see. Okay, well, his stamp and how he represents himself, he says that. But I didn't go and look that up if that's what you're saying. But he stated that he never received any of the following information that you guys asked him about. He said he never received any of that. And that's what brought us here to this meeting. But on today's email, Scott admits that he did in fact receive all those plans, which means while we're here today, I did nothing wrong. Now, I am prepared to take this all the way. I've already went and filed a formal complaint based on Scott and his actions. I've also filed today with the 6th District based on public record records that I wanted to submit to this board that I was not in access of. I asked for them January 25th. So I filed a claim. If these people don't hear it, it'll go to these people. And if they don't hear it, it'll go to the Supreme Court. I'm not trying to make nobody lose their job or nothing like that. But on the flip side, I'm not trying to lose everything that I worked hard for when I had my job. Now, Scott told us that we are to, or we should bring in receipts showing that we've already bought this material and we're ready to move forward. Right here are the receipts from Lowe's, and this is dated all the way back in August, from where we already had ordered everything. It was on delay because of COVID, etc. Also, Mr. Fike, and then you guys can go and make your decision, because I don't have anything else to say after this. But also, here is the permit that is approved by Scott Tom for the same area of the roof that we are here for. And coincidentally, it's 620, something about the number 2 with me. So if it pleases the board, being so we have already bought the material, it's evident per his email today that the outside is completely safe from hurting anybody. If this could just be extended and we can go forth and do our work. And if that's all I have to say, there's no argument. As far as what last time, it's kind of like coming at a mama bear for something she done worked hard on. But God said to come this way, and that's how I'm gonna come. Now here's all the paperwork. I have reports and stuff from Farmers Insurance that offsets everything from previous. See, I haven't even opened it. If I pass this around, it's from 12 of 2019. He's been telling me to keep hold of all this stuff. I'm not trying to point nobody out. I'm not trying to bring state people, Mr. Crossman, and I'm sorry, Attorney General Crossman, sorry, Jeff. I'm not trying to bring them all into Sandusky business. I just want to be left alone, have my husband do this work, so I can do what God wants me to do. That's it. Now, I've already been approved for the permit. Why am I here today?
Well, you're here because you didn't do the work.
How can I do the work? And we just got the material that just came in from Lowe's.
Is this material you're talking about? That
Yeah.
just got in? This is plaster repair work.
Now, if you look at what's highlighted, you'll see the steel posts and the steel beams. See, that's highlighted. What you're looking at isn't even highlighted, that's stucco. But no, it's on your front page. It should say 4 or 5 posts.
Okay.
Okay. So that stuff just came in due to COVID. But if you look at the date, it was bought last year. Now, I don't care.
But the repair work is the roof. Just look at the first story as an example. The area in the back, the roof structure that's back there is, per your engineer, is getting ready to fall down. It's inadequate for what's there. I don't see any material for that roof repair. on
If
that.
you give me that, I can show you the post and everything as far as what.
I see posts. I
Okay.
don't see any,
So-
he was going to buy a new 2x6 is going to be required to reframe that entire roof.
We didn't have to buy a lot of that stuff, sir, because all that stuff, we've been to auctions and everything like that. We have all of that stuff that's in the basement. The stuff that we needed to buy that we did not have is that stuff right there, the stucco, the post, and everything else. Now, like I said, I didn't come here to argue. I didn't, it's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna allow nobody to let me do that, okay? You have all the proof. You even have the permit. Now, I know that there's been permits that's been extended due to COVID and everything else. So we have the roof permit. We have it right there. So now, based on that, you're still telling me you're not going to extend it and let me fix my building?
Are you asking me a question?
I am.
Okay, we're here to go over his report. Your building's been declared unfit.
But you said
to be
that,
turned-
but you said
We're here
he,
just to reaffirm that.
okay, but didn't you say on March 26th that he can't give such report?
On March 26th, which is on a house that's not this one,
No, just based on his credentials. You said that he did not have the credentials. It's right there in the minutes that I passed around.
he doesn't have the credentials that I have. That's correct.
Right, well, yeah. You said that he did not have the credentials in order to make that assessment on that house. And that's why you got pulled in. But really and truly, Mr. Myers has said you didn't have the credentials, but it would give them a better idea of what they're walking into. Now, you're an architect. This is an engineer. I say structural, you say no. I'm pretty sure this man's not going to throw away his license by lying to me.
And his report had items that you needed to fix. And as of today, those structural items, which are still deficient, aren't fixed.
How can we fix them? And I'm asking you to extend the permit. Now, if I go and do it, we're in trouble. So,
We don't have the ability, this body, to extend that permit. That would be something that you would apply to the building department directly for.
so if we're willing to walk away from everything and not reveal this stuff and let it get out of hand and bring stuff, corruption and all that, are you willing to extend our permit so that we can finish this roof?
If I may, I'm sorry, that's not a question for this body at all. I think we should refocus on the appeal.
Like I say, that's something you need to do with them,
Well, that's what I'm asking.
not here.
No.
Okay, so
This is
then-
about the evidence of, that you want, if you want to present evidence to this board about whether or not the building should come down or not, their decision here today, you may do so, but other stuff, other business with the city is for other times.
Well, it's not when there's corruption going on. So I'm asking now, Mr. Fikes stated that I need to
Ma'am, if
ask
you'd like to
Mr.
continue
Tom.
presenting evidence, you can. Please do so.
Sir?
Sir? I'm
No,
sorry,
yeah,
ma'am.
ma'am, don't
I
get nervous, it's
apologize.
cool. Hey, don't take it personal, it's all good, man.
I'm
We good.
not.
Okay,
I'm just
but all
directing
I'm
you to
saying
it.
is,
If you
Mr.
have-
Fikes
if you have
said that
additional
I can
evidence-
ask.
Ma'am,
Mr.
if you would
Fikes-
listen to me, we might actually be able to do this in an orderly fashion this time. If you have evidence you'd like to present to this board, please do so. If you have testimony you would like to present to this board, please do so. If you have any witnesses you would like to call, please do so. Now's your time. They'll consider it and they'll make their decision. That's what we're here to do today.
Mr. Fikes, Mr. Fikes, may I ask for a recess or a conference in order to ask him if he will extend the permit?
That's not, again, that's not part of what we're doing here. That's a different issue.
Okay.
If you have a permit that's valid and has been extended, we'd be glad to see it.
Okay, well then, being so that George Palauis is not here, and he's the architect, based on your words, March 26th, he doesn't have the credentials to give this type of report. Is that true or not?
He doesn't have my credentials to look at a building that's totally different from this one and
So he doesn't-
in a different location.
So he doesn't have the credentials for a residential, but he got the credentials for a commercial?
You're trying to say something that's picked up over here and use it here, and it's not germane.
Okay. So we see how this is, you know.
Mr. Tom is the chief building official of the city.
And you said that you cannot take his recommendation. So basically, are you changing your mind from when you said it in March, or are we changing it now? Because I just need
Not changing my mind at
clarity.
all.
Okay, so if you're not, you stated that he's just a builder, is your exact words. That's what you said. So how is it that he can't make a decision based on something you're going to get paid for, because you're the architect, but he can make a decision based on something that I hired a different architect for? That's not right. Come on, man, we Kent State graduates together. That's not right.
It has nothing,
It has a lot to do with a lot.
that previous has nothing to do with what we're talking about today.
So on top of it, in closing, he stated in the last email that all the exterior work that will harm somebody has been fixed, and he visibly can see it. He stated that an hour or two ago. He stated if we did have receipts from the material that we're fixing the roof on, to bring those in.
Yep.
And he told us, he said noted when we told him how much time it was going to take to fix this. Even though all that stuff had been taken care of before, God told me to come with a new rim, and I did. I didn't say whatever I had to say. So whatever you guys go on, that's fine. If it's supposed to go to the next level, then it is. If it's supposed to stay here, then so be it. But at the end, the 39 different people who this corruption has been going through with this land bank and people making structural engineer calls and tearing down these black families' homes and businesses is not gonna keep going. It stops today. So if I have to keep filing report after report and keep pulling people's name out of stuff, he sits on the board and George Palauas came and did the inspection. That's conflict of interest. It goes all around. I'm not trying to do all that, but if so, that's fine. I just need this board to let me know how I need to move. I have my attorney on standby if she needs to file a stay, and we can move forward. But I'm telling you, if you guys don't do right today, I'm not gonna stop. It's going to get bigger, and it's going to get worse. You know that.
Do you have the permit?
I don't,
I passed it around.
there's no permit of.
Here it goes, I'm sorry. Then I read in the paper on February 23rd, it's six more sites to be demoed. I guarantee you that somebody's name is on there. Guarantee you. Come on. It's not right. Not right.
Scott, when do the permits expire from the data issue?
Normally, they have 1 year if work is continuing. You know, and if work's continuous, it can go on for quite some time. Some projects last several months or years. But, and during COVID, I have extended permits with, because I know there's been material issues, people getting stuff with supply chain issues, and also with workers and all the restrictions that we've been dealing with for the last 2 years. So that's pretty much been automatic, but they do have to ask for it.
The date on that expiration is January 5, 2021.
Okay. So that one was that was a 6-month permit then?
And it was for the back roof only.
Okay.
That's all that was. The scope of work was the back roof.
Single, the one.
And it was a re-roof. It was not the structural work that was called out by her structural engineer, or engineer, or whatever.
Was this something you wanted us to keep and put in the record, or?
No, I just wanted to present it. If it's not going to be over today, then I need to take that back with me. It is going to be over today. You guys are more than happy to have it. Thank you.
Is there any other evidence or anyone else that you are asking to have speak today?
No, sir.
Okay. Any questions from the board? I think our question is, the building's been determined by the chief building official to be unfit. It's over the 50% of deterioration, and they've already determined that it's to be torn down, and we're to affirm that or to deny it. So we would need a motion to either affirm or deny.
I'll make a motion to support the building department and go ahead with the demolition.
Second. Could we have a motion and a second? Any questions on the motion? A yes vote is to affirm. If you'd call the roll, please.
Mr. Gunlock.
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mr. Rucker.
No.
Mr. Fike.
Yes.
Thank you, Steve. And to the rest of you, I still pray that God bless you, but it's all the way going down. Mr. Fike, I'm putting you on blast with the corruption. I'm pulling the video that shows that that roof has been like that. Where you messed up at was, you said that the picture from 629, this is what I was waiting for. You put on here 620 to 629. So now, when I pull the video that you wouldn't let me use because of the media, and you guys are walking through and Mr. Gunlaw asks what we're going to do with the building, it's going to show that it's always been like that. So that was God's plan to get you out of power. Y'all have a blessed day.
We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.